meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Good Friday night, awesome podcast fans of the Southern Fried Podcast. Robert, they're called what?
They're called the Cornbread Nation. It's the breadheads.
That's right, them breadheads. Yeah, we're glad to have you here on this amazing Friday night. It's amazing, you know why? Because it's Friday and you made it. And I'm going to tell you, today was a rough start for me. I was thinking Friday's supposed to be pretty easy. It started out kind of rocking and rolling, and in different ways. And I was thinking, I was thinking all day, Rob, I cannot wait to get home tonight and be on this program. It's the greatest therapy in the world for me to be on here. People ask me, sometimes they'll say, "You do a lot of podcasting." I said, "Yeah, and I enjoy every minute of it."
Darn Skippy. You are darn Skippy.
I am having a ball, and I love this one. Is one of the first things that we talked about as a podcast was this idea of the front porch and sitting out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea or whatever, coffee, whatever you want. We think sweet tea, and just thinking about the just those days we grew up and here in the South and stuff like that. And in some part of the show, Rob, I want to just talk about a little bit, because I think it's a fair to say, and we keep it light and we talk about a lot of different stuff, but I would like to talk a little bit about tonight, that way of life is under threat. It really is. And I want to talk about just some of the different ways that's under threat. Some of them you're probably saying, "Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about." But I think there's just some others, maybe some people don't think about sometimes. And I want to just kind of look back a little bit and then bring it forward to kind of where we're at. We'll pick up on that here in a little bit. Another part of the show. We go a little ways with the front porch. So we'll get kicked off. Chris is going to be here in a minute. He was in here, then he was out of here, and now he's going to be back in here. So,
well, he may have got lost.
He may have got lost. I don't know. I'm not sure. Chris is the mad scientist. That's my name for him, because he goes into his laboratory, and he creates all these wonderful things. And there's been some, it's like Frankenstein's laboratory. Robert, there were some versions of Frankenstein that didn't work. I mean, they had to go back to the drawing board, and not that that's what he's working on, but I think of it like that. So he's brought out some stuff. We're like, nah, that's not going to work. He'd say, no problem. He'd go back. Mad scientist back at where we come back and they go, hey, that's a lot better, but not yet. And now he's to the point now, every time he brings us something, we're going, hey man, that's amazing. I think we just all had to get on the same page.
And he said it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
If you don't get that reference, you're not one of us.
Evening, Earl. Good to have you, brother.
Oh, Brother Earl, get in here. Oh, I got the wrong thing going. There it is. Oh, I see him now.
Step out on the front porch, Earl. Sit down in the rocking chair with your glass of sweet tea, and we're going to talk about whatever. Hope you've had a good Friday. Hope all the listeners that come in have, or if you're listening on the job, driving that truck, been them mill jobs, Robert. We done that for a long time.
Yes.
Sitting at a security post or whatever it might be. I have set up and watched podcasts at 5 o'clock in the morning, working an all night security post. And they just don't know how awesome they were, even though they were just talking about whatever. They were the only live on at the time. I kind of knew them. That was a small podcast. And I'm grateful for them. We remember what it was to have, like 3 followers, but they had like 7 people in the live stream, which at 5 o'clock in the morning, that was pretty good. Maybe it's 4:30. Yeah. And they were talking about, I don't know, just whatever, like we're doing on the front porch. You know what it did? It got me awake. It kept me awake. I mean, I was so sleepy. And I got interested in, and what was funny is the person that was on the podcast was actually at work in a security uniform. And I thought, wait a minute, they're not supposed to be doing that. And like 2 weeks later, they lost their job. They kept on podcasting though. They just they got a little too excited about the podcast. I guess they were sleepy too. So Chris is coming back in here. He's on the front porch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You know,
he's out on the porch.
A big fat hey, you're going after the Cornbread Nation.
Yeah,
that's right. How's everybody doing this Friday?
Was that an Alabama cup?
No.
That looks like an Alabama cup.
Don't insult my cup like that.
I think. Well, that's not the worst of it. That shirt looks like a Tennessee Vols shirt.
It is right. So I've got Alabama cup and a Tennessee Vols shirt. All I need is a nice red hat that says Georgia Bulldogs on it.
Okay. He'd cover all the bases. You know,
That's
to be
right.
fair, we cover all the South, so we're just having fun.
Okay.
We are Georgia fans, but we do cover all the South. So all you Alabama fans and Tennessee fans and South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, Louisiana, who'd I miss?
Yeah.
I don't Mississippi, we Virginia, West Virginia, whatever, Missouri. We want you all to come in here and be at home on the front porch. And if you're listening from California or Australia or Canada, you're just at home, just sit on the front porch with us. We all hey, he's whopping the screen. He looks like a NASCAR driver right now, trying to get that window screen clean, you know.
Oh, be careful with that, dude. He's like one of them guys that come up with the newspaper gonna wash your windshield for you.
Can I clean your smartphone lens for you? Your laptop.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this quick story, man. This is years ago. I mean, probably 15, 20. I'll say a good 20 years ago, maybe 25. And there used to be that shoe store out near the mall, you know, Hamilton Place we have here in Chattanooga. What was it? Oh God, there was a new a sneaker store there in the corner, not in the mall, out there on the corner of the property. Yeah. And anyway, they sold shoes and everything, and I bought a couple of pair out there. But we went out there, me and my wife, one day, and they got this crazy music playing. You know, they're keeping it party. We got the party going on, and there's a couple of guys at the door, a couple of greeters, and the guy was dancing, you know. And by the way, he had on a Tennessee Vol hat. That so I was like, okay, he's a Tennessee Vol. Okay, I said, hey, how you doing, buddy? Doing good? You gonna buy some shoes? Well, it is a shoe store, So I go in. He goes, hey, wait. He said, we're also selling. I didn't realize this was going to be an infomercial. We're also selling this shoe cleaner. The shoe cleaner we got right here. I said, well, I'm not really interested right now. I said, let me buy the shoes and I'll look at it. How much is it? I was giving him a courtesy. I wasn't against it. I just at the time I didn't even know if I'm going to buy some shoes. And so I was going to, I was just fixing to step inside the door. And the guy goes, no, wait, let me clean your shoes right now and I'll show you how good it works. I said, no, don't. And he jumps down there and the music's blaring and he's down there he's foamed my whole shoes up and he's down there, rocking back and forth. I looked at my wife and she looked at me and started laughing. And I'm thinking, I'm not laughing. And I said, dude, I'm stuck now. I can't move because if I do, I'm going to look like a dork walking through the shoe store with all this foamy stuff on my shoe. And he's like, I'll be just a minute, sir. It's like one of those, it's amazing, infomercials at 3:00 in the morning. And he's a scrubbing and everything. He goes, these shoes are kind of dirty, but I'm going to show you. They'll get them clean. I was stuck for 5 minutes while this kid was doing that. And the whole time I'm having to look at that Tennessee Vol hat. And I'm like, oh, man, this is like torture. And he finally just done his hands up. And I said, son, why did you do that? I told you no. He goes, salesman always, he goes, because I knew you would want to buy it just as soon as you saw how good this product is. I said, man, wrong. I said, you know what? I'm not buying the stuff now. I may buy shoes, but I guarantee you, I won't buy the cleaner because you done made me mad. And so it gets worse. This tells you how old it is. So I get out there, I get in the store, I find the shoes. And thank goodness my wife was with me, and I'm not a hothead. I'm a nice guy. But things just, it just gets that little dot up there on your forehead. So I go find the shoes, and they're trying to sell me, hey, get a second pair, get a third pair. I'm like, I just want the shoes. I bought the shoes. So I get up there at the counter, and you got to remember, I'm telling you, this is a long time ago. I'm used to just go in and throwing some cash on the counter and buying what I want and getting out the door. So the lady, this is when they first started wanting your info for marketing. And the lady goes, what's your phone number? And I said, it's ain't none of your business what my phone number is. She goes, I'll have to have your phone number. I can't sell you the shoes. I said, are you kidding me? I said, I got cash in hand. You got some shoes for sale. And all I want to do is buy the shoes. It ain't none of your business. She goes, I have to have only your phone. I got to have your name, your address. And I said, what, you going to get my social security number too? No, they won't let us ask for that. And I said, well, what if I say no to all that? And she goes, well, the system won't let me sell the shoes unless I get that. And I about exploded, and my wife just kind of elbowed me out of the way. And she said, David, go to the car. Just go to the car. And I said, I kind of had one of them little rants. I'm like, this is America. This is the USA. I mean, what is this, communism now? I mean, I lost it, man. I embarrassed my wife. My wife said, David, just go to the car. I'll take care of it. She's Miss Patience, you know. And so I went to the car. I had to pass by the guy dancing again, you know, with a Tennessee hat on. He's trying to sell me stuff. I just waved him off. I went to the car. I was out there stewing. And then my wife comes out and she said, what's the problem? I said, is none of that bother you, what just happened? She goes, no, I thought it was kind of funny. I said, then me and you are totally different in this. We do not agree on this at all. And now everywhere you go, they want to know every little thing about you. That was the first time I'd ever seen that happen, man. And I'm telling you, man, it ticked me off. You can call me whatever. I didn't like it. I did not like it. If he'd had a Georgia hat on, I would have gave that kid a hard time. I was like, just let me be alone. I mean, let me shop. It's like walking on the car lots when you'd walk on the car lot and they would come running out of the office, you know, to chase you down. I mean, you know, it's like you couldn't look at cars by yourself. They had to come down there and, you know, grab you up and show you all the deals and kick the tires weed. And you're like, well, we're just looking. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm here. I want to sell you a car, you know. And they just hassle you the whole time. I mean, it's just crazy. You ever had something like that happen? I mean, it just made me mad.
Yeah, I've had them try to sell me a car like that before. You come over here, you going to get a car today? You going to buy a car today? You going to buy a car today? I said, if you'll shut up, let me look, I might buy one. And they're like, well, we got to show you the car. Which car you want to look at? I said, I'm not telling you. And you best get away from here. I ain't buying nothing. Why do they need to know where I live? Why do they need my phone number?
Exactly.
People calling me trying to sell me stuff as is.
I mean, you know, I figured if you wanted to give it, that's fine. I got no problem if somebody wants to do it. But to tell me you can't sell me the shoes unless you got all my personal information, I mean, I lost it at that point. I'm like, this is communism. My wife's like, David. She's like, David. You know, I knew that sound. You're like, you know, her face is turning red. She's all embarrassed, you know. I'm like, everybody in the store starts looking, all the customers, you know, they're probably thinking, is this one of those guys that's fixing to snap, you know? I had to calm down. I just sit out there, and it was also a hot day, man. It was one of those hot July or August days. I just went and got under the air conditioning. I was out there just stewing. You know, when you get that kind of mad, it takes a little while to kind of calm yourself back down.
What is up
How funny.
with those little tags that they want to give you to put on your key ring so you can save money when you shop at their store? What is up with that?
Danners.
It's all marketing, man. It's all marketing.
Here's the thing. If you're going to offer me a deal, but I got to carry that little tag around to get it, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want the little tag. I don't want none of it.
Easy there, Michael. I didn't ever got mad at SI. We're just joking.
Whatever. Whatever.
You're talking about that. We got another store up here, and I don't really usually do the shopping. I'm a guy that's in and out, you know. So there's a couple of times my wife would say, "I need you to run down." I won't say the name of the store, but I run down there, and you know, you ring the stuff up, and I'm ready to get out of there, and the lady looks at me, you know, and she says, "Can I scan your card?" I said, well, yeah, I'm going to pay for it. I thought I did it right. She goes, no, your discount card. I said, oh, you get more off? No. If you don't have the card, you get charged more. It was another one of those moments. And I said, I forgot about that crap. I said, my wife's got all that stuff. I said, I don't have it. And she said, do you want one to fill out? now they just do all that fast. But back then you had to like fill out an application. And I'm like, I'm not standing here in line to fill out one of those things. Are you crazy? And I kind of pitched the other fit. I got to be honest. And the lady said, well, you'll save money. I said, save money. I'm buying product. Why are you charging me more for being a faithful, loyal customer? And the lady behind me said, he just put it on my card because she gets more points that way. But another reason was I think she's just trying to get me out of the way. I went home. I told my wife, I said, don't ever send me down there again. I said, it makes me so mad.
At the bottom of the screen. Slow down, breathe, let your face change back to the normal color. Look down here at the bottom of the screen and look what it says there. She saved $40 at Brookshire's. Dude.
Amen.
I believe if someone had paid you $40 to fill that thing out, would you have done it? Yes.
But the point is, why they mark this stuff up? I mean, why do you got to have that to get it? The prices are going up anyway. Why do you got to have it? They're going to charge you, 50 cents more, $2 more, whatever it is. Come on.
All right. Look here. I hate these things, but because you have went this route,
go ahead.
Counterpoint here.
I'm on a rant now.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to shut you down. Do you have to spend time clipping coupons?
I don't know that I've ever clipped. I don't care about no. I don't get none of that.
Your pocketbook.
I don't have no coupons. My wife cuts them out sometimes. She has gave me a coupon, and sometimes they
eliminated the need to clip out coupons. All you got to do is hand them that little thing and let them scan it. That's all you got to do.
You're wrong, big boy. That don't always work because some places don't take them. They'll say, "Oh, we don't take that at this place," or "It's out of date." Like I should just do it, but no. So that's another time I get mad. Go through the drive-through, and my wife says, "Be sure to tell them you got a coupon." Well, I got a coupon, man, to save money on this, meal or 2 meals. And I get up the window and I give her the coupon. I do what I'm supposed to do, and she goes, "Oh, we quit taking those 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago." And I'm like, "What good is it?"
You see that? At the bottom of the screen. You elderly feller, you.
Amen.
I'm so glad Miss Margaret's in here. Look at this.
Hey, you know what? That is my solution. I usually don't do any shopping.
Wait a minute. Now, see, I do the bulk of the cooking at the house. I've got to go shopping. I've got to go.
Okay, Mr. Mom, that's fine, but I just don't like it. Okay, I don't like you have to go through all the rigmarole. I mean, I like cash on the barrelhead. I use my debit card.
Yeah, I use my debit card too, but now the store I go to, it's on the phone. You just go up there and they scan your phone and you're done.
By the way, let me say, I do a lot of online shopping at various stores for different things. I have never yet been asked for the old discount card or any kind of coupons. In fact, it's automatically included, sir, into the order, and they bring it to my house. I don't even have to get up. I don't even have to get all brushed up and a cap on. You know what? They're killing themselves because people like me are going to say, you know what? I'm just going to sit at home and order it online. I thought 10 years ago you'd never see Dave do that, but I'm telling you, so I don't have to deal with all these little control mechanisms they have. I'll just stay at home.
Hey, look here. Wait, Dave.
They do have them, but it's kind of included. That's what I'm saying. I do pay for the Amazon Prime, and I do a lot of shopping that way. And I've done it with the other big box retailer and a few others. So Christmas shopping became so easy because I've got to tell you, you've sent me down a road tonight, man. I don't even know how we got started on this. But you know what? I don't have no patience for shopping too much, and you know why? If I was going to deal with all of that, which I don't like it, I have done it. I've had that little thing on the key ring, and then it wore out and fell off, and I didn't get another one. And where I really got mad was I went into like a Mapco, and my coffee got upcharged because I'd forgot to have that. And they were trying to get me to do another one, all that, and I just quit going to Mapco. Went to another store that don't ask for that. So that solved that for me. They lost my business, but my biggest problem with going shopping. It's other people.
Wait a minute.
some of these ladies will run you down with the buggy, man. Hey, I'm getting to be, I'm getting to be elderly because, hey, that's what the old scammer told me. You're getting elderly. So at 59 years old, I need to watch out. I might lose a hip or a knee or something. I mean, hey, they're like power shopping. They'll run you down. That's not all ladies out there. I'm just saying there's enough of them. It's like, I was thinking the other day, these people that go the road.
Wait, before you go off on that one, you got to look at the bottom here. The coupons are following you everywhere they go. Miss Marjorie is on you, son. They're chasing you down. They're stalking you. They're going to get you.
It's the work of Satan, man.
It's the devil.
It's the attack of the devil, man.
Mama said it's the devil.
Well said.
My mama really said that all the time.
Yeah.
All right, go on off down your rabbit hole there.
Oh, man, I don't even know what I was going to say now, but
you're talking about people trying to run your old butt over.
Yeah, I remember that. I was going to transition to something else I done forgot, man. I'm laughing at you.
I'm sorry. I messed you all
but
up.
Yeah, people, and you're having to, dodge them and everything. And, you can't go nowhere in a store and not be bothered. I mean, if somebody wanting something wherever you stand.
You are the person I look for when I'm shopping to amuse me. If I can bump your cart and hear that over there, I'm a happy man. I'm looking for you. It don't have to be a hard bump either. Just a light tap. Oh, excuse me. It's great. It's amazing. It's fun. And it's amusing. That's why I like to go shopping.
Are you going to buy something and they say, well, we have to get an associate to get that for you, sir. Well, I can just reach up and get it. No, we don't want you to get hurt. So you got to wait another 20 minutes for some kid to come out there. It looks like he don't even want to be there because he don't. And then he says, well, I'll have to go get a cart. There's another 10 minutes while he goes and looks for a cart. And I just feel like I'm trapped, man. I become a caged animal. It's like, wow. I'll give you another one. I forgot the other thing. I'll probably remember in a minute. Us elderly folks, we do that. I'll come back around. I'll give you another one. I'm on a roll now. Let me go with it. Restaurants. Here's my other one. They take forever.
Restaurant.
I love them, but I hate it when you're ready to go. I hate this. You can ask my wife. I hate it when you're ready to go and they have not brought you your ticket so you can pay. That ticks me off, man. And the waitress takes forever to come back, and you're trying to flag her down. And you're like, "Could we get our ticket so we can pay?" I'll get right on that, sir. And about 15 or 20 minutes later, she comes back by and throws it on the table. I was ready to go 30 minutes ago.
There you go. There's your fix right there at the bottom. She's got you covered, Bubba.
I get some boxers, something knocking up the shelf. I went to a pilot one time, and it was right before Christmas. They had these big stuffed animals and stuff on the very top shelf. I mean, these things are like 15 feet up in the air. So my granddaughter, she wanted something. I had the Christmas spirit going on. We'd already bought her all these gifts, but okay, you only live once. She'll remember this the rest of her life. It's overcharged. I mean, come on, it's at a gas station. And I said, all right, I'll buy it. And so I get up there, and I get up there. And the guy comes out, he's got one of those extenders, he's extending the thing out, trying to hook it and bring it off. And I sit and watch this kid. It's like he's fishing for bass. And he kept missing the thing. And other workers come over trying to assist him, and they couldn't get it down. And I'll be honest with you, there's that part of me that was ready to say, you know what? I don't need it. But the granddaughter's sitting there going, oh, you'll get it in a minute. He'll get it. And I'm like, oh, I'm trapped. I don't like that feeling, And I'm like, do you really have to have that? And she said, oh, yes, Papa, I got to have it. And I have to keep watching this. And they won't let you do it. They got to do it. And they're just moseying around. And then they finally get it, and they drop it, and it knocks things off and all. It's a big mess. I mean, but the granddaughter was happy, so I was happy for her,
Okay. Miss Marty's got you covered again. Just go to the register. They'll have to bring the ticket to you. Just go on up there. They'll bring it to you. Maybe.
No. I agree.
Maybe They don't want to bother you while you're eating your dessert. Okay,
I
just
don't
go
eat
on up to
dessert.
the register.
I don't eat. I don't eat dessert. I rarely eat dessert. So no, this is what I do. You see, you haven't read me yet. You have not read me. So this is what I do because I do. I feel like I feel like I'm in some sort of, camp or something and I'm trapped and the walls are closing in. And so what I just say earlier, I tell my wife, I said, you got this? I got it. And I go to the car. I bypass all that mess. I leave the tip or I tell her to put the tip on there or whatever. And I'll say, love you, honey. And I go to the car. And that's what I do.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Grumpy Old Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. They went to the car.
They went to the car. Well,
Yeah.
us elderly folks, it takes a little while to get to the car, man. I mean, you gotta, your hips are hurting, your knees are hurting, your feet are hurting. You have to dodge kids that nobody's watching and they're just acting like wild, animals running through the restaurant, especially if you go to them buffets. I mean, they'll knock you down in a buffet to get back to to get their food or run, and the kids are just running wild. That's a whole nother thing. It just drives me a little nuts. So I go to my sanctuary. I go to the car. I calm down. I'm like Jackie Gleason in the second one? That's me in the car. And then I just get all calmed down. I look at my phone. I listen to some music or I watch a sporting game. Unless they're losing, and I turn that off because that just jack the blood pressure back up. And then I come out and I'll say, "Did you get that all took care of?" My wife will say, "It's all paid." And I'll say, "Oh my gosh, we've only been here like an hour and a half, And I say, let's get on down the road.
So what you're saying is you're comparing your waitress to Burt Reynolds.
Do what?
You're comparing your waitress to Burt Reynolds.
You've lost me, man.
He was Smokey if you're going to be the sheriff sitting out in the car.
No, it could be Sally Field. Frog.
Huh?
It could be Frog. The waitress is Frog.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No.
Chris, jump in here, man. I need to shut up.
I'm working on it. I'm just listening. I'm just trying to keep up at the moment. There's a lot going on here.
Look here. You need to own right now. The anxiety is real. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Get your face back to the right part. All right, we're going to have to move on from this topic. You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, my gosh. Your blood pressure's got to be through the roof right now. Oh, my goodness.
He's pretty fired up.
Man, that was, whew. All right. Calmer topic for David here, okay? We're gonna put this all together and we're gonna calm down. Now, let's think of some positive experiences that you've had at the store. All right, you're going to the express line because you only have one or two items. And somebody cuts right in front of you with a buggy load. What do you say to them?
I say nothing.
Why
They're
not?
supposed to say, "Go ahead," in front of me. That's just Southern right there.
I just do it. I say nothing. I'll say, bless their heart.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Not true.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I wash more of the clothes around my house and fold more of the clothes. She helps, but she's a little older than me, and I do my part. In fact, I washed the load today, and I do that. I washed a load or two yesterday, and I take care of that. So no, yeah. I don't ask her to get my stuff. I have asked her for a couple things, but no, you see, you're misreading my pet peeves over thinking I don't do that.
All right, but she does recognize the fact that you're elderly.
my wife told a friend of my son's, they were getting ready to go to work just this evening. I mean, like maybe not even an hour before we came on Front Porch talking, and she said, "He's a good man." So, hey, my wife is happy. I'm happy. God is happy. The world is happy. I don't care what the shoe store thinks about it or any all these delays and stuff. They can be mad. The waitress, whoever, Frog.
Oh my goodness. Frog.
I'm really one of the most patient people you'll ever meet. I really am.
Well,
But I know when I'm triggered. I know me. And so I remove myself. So for me, instead of just sitting there and all that building up, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to be a proper representative for Jesus Christ. I go to the car and I just let it all flow out. I'm good. I'm on the beach. I go to my happy place, land in a hammock on the beach with the waves coming in, with a nice breeze coming. That's where I go. That's my happy place.
That Frog bring you one of them tropical drinks, so then
No,
you
that-
get all mad all over again because you'll probably spill it or something. I love you.
It didn't have the little umbrella in it.
Yeah, the little umbrella.
Now that's a good reason to get mad right there.
Oh, see, now this is something I would do to you.
Yes, Miss Marjorie.
You what?
I love it. That's great.
That is amazing.
I absolutely love that.
That's funny. That's good.
Oh man.
What'd you steal tonight? I could do it. And probably have done it. Something along that lines. Or look at somebody. What'd you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Chris, let's bring him in. Chris, I didn't know this. And I just heard it the other day. I really didn't know because I'd always heard if someone's stealing, you had to wait till they get to a certain point. But in the state of Tennessee, my understanding is the law is if they conceal that item, they can grab them. If they put it in a bag, I heard this, I really did. If they put it in a bag or, my gosh, they put it in all kind of places we don't need to talk about. But if they do that and they see that on camera, the officer can go or whoever can confront them right then and bring them to loss prevention. Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
The old, you got to have the receipt when you get to, they do stop them at points like that if they're not sure, but if they see it, they can nab them right then. I didn't know that. That's a state law in Tennessee.
If they conceal it or attempt to conceal. See, I worked at the grocery store. That was a big thing. They would attempt to. One guy had it all wadded up. and was getting ready to shove it in his pocket. He got about halfway there, and I caught him with it. They took him to jail.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Wow.
Texas better not stop me. Uh-oh. We got Texas represented in the house tonight.
I love it. Go Texas, the Lone Star State. We're here to stand behind our brothers and sisters down in Texas and seal that border and get some order down there in Texas. I love the Texas, Rangers and all that. I love Texas. I've been able to be over different parts of Texas. I've been in the Panhandle, Houston, over to Bowie, Texas, and Fort Worth, and on down on the coast, and spoken churches all up and down Texas. Had a great time out there. Loved every minute of it. It is too flat for me. I'll be honest. I like my mountains, but the landscapes are awesome and the people are awesome. And I loved being there. It was a great experience, and everything in Texas is big, including, if you want to go somewhere, you better fill up the gas tank because the things are far away. But I really had a good time out there in the great state of Texas.
Yes. They say in Houston that you can get on the interstate on one side of the city and drive for like an hour or so, and you're still in Houston on the interstate.
It's huge. I will tell you what happened to me when I was coming in. First time I come into Houston, I was, it's like Chattanooga. I mean, they're always doing road construction. So they've got us hemmed in by the concrete, traps. I mean, both sides, there's no pull-offs. There's no emergency lane. So this guy, a few cars in front of me, and I may have mentioned this in another show, but anyway, a guy was pulling a trailer and he lost his tire. And this thing starts bouncing and gathering steam, as it spins. And I thought it was going to hit me, but it actually went over in the other side of the traffic, the other direction, and it hit and then bounced in a guy's windshield. He ducked and just narrowly missed being killed. And this guy pulling the trailer, he can't do anything. He can't stop. He'd have killed everybody. So he's dragging that trailer. We drove for several miles, and he finally was able to get pulled over. But there was no pull off. It kills me when they do that. If you get in trouble, something like that, your car stalls or anything, there's no pull off when they have construction like that. You're in trouble.
Yeah. I remember I was driving through Atlanta one time, and this car came down the on ramp to merge into the interstate and went all the way across traffic right straight into that concrete barrier. It was an older guy. He had taken some medication and he blacked out at the wheel and
Mm.
went all the way across Atlanta traffic, didn't hit
Oh.
anybody, and hit that concrete barricade on the other side.
Wow.
Mm.
So
You're right,
stop.
You're right, Miss Marjorie. It does. I agree with you, and a lot of crime there. It's unfortunate, but I didn't care for that city as much as I did many of the others. So,
All right, Miss Marjorie, we got to ask this question too, being as you're from Texas. What college football team do you pull for, if you pull for any at all? We'll give her a chance to answer that one. Now, we're not asking so we can poke fun. We're
No,
asking because we're actually curious.
hey, they got a couple of great, powerful teams out there. Really more
yeah.
than that, but two real powerful ones: Texas themselves and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
All in the SEC now, baby. It's going to be a great year. I can't wait.
Yes, it is. And Georgia's got to play Texas in Texas.
Yeah, that's if I don't know what it is. I checked a couple years ago. Texas is the richest school in college football. If you
Wow.
look that up,
Oh,
now,
wow.
it might have changed. A lot of Bama's was like 3, but Texas
Mhm.
number 1. Notre Dame's way up there. They got a lot of money flowing into that college. A lot. I'm talking about the football program, just the football program itself, not the whole school, but just the football program. So I'm not against Dallas.
I love it. I love it.
I'm rooting against Dallas.
Oh, we got to have Cowboy Cook on here one day with you, Miss Marjorie.
Oh yeah, that would kill him.
Huh?
I would kill him. He's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan.
Miss Marjorie, I got to tell you what I did to Cowboy Cook. You'll appreciate this. Him being a Cowboy fan and you not. I tried to convince him that Jones had sold Dallas to Dolly Parton and she was moving the team to Gatlinburg. And they were going to change the name to the Gatlinburg Pollywogs. I'm sure he loved that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he didn't have nothing bad to say about that.
Fellas, I hadn't watched an NFL game and maybe the Super Bowl in years. And I guess when all the kneeling during the anthem and all that stuff happened years ago, I just lost my taste for the NFL. I grew up watching it.
I agree, and what I do, I don't, because a lot of your sporting events, the beginning of the program, is all brainwashing, and so what I do is I just start right about the kickoff. That's when I turn it on, and I don't watch halftime. I don't need all that.
Now I love college ball. I'm an SEC fan for a lot of years, and I'm a SEC fan more so than a team fan. But I default to Tennessee because I live here, and that's who I've rooted for since I was young. Now I grew up on the Miami Hurricanes. From my dad and my mother were from Miami, Florida. So Dad was a big Dolphins and Hurricanes fan. So I watched both of those guys every weekend. The old quarterback, what was his name? Dan Marino. Grew up watching Dan Marino and Joe Montana and all these kind of guys winning Super Bowls.
Thank you, Miss Marjorie.
Yes,
that was it. That was about
and
it.
You had a good idea. I love your idea. Sorry, Chris, I'm listening.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Dan Marino. We're listening to Dan Marino. I didn't know the Miami connection there. But I didn't think about that. But you do have that connection. Frank, my sister's husband, he's the Miami fan too. And we get closer to the season. We're getting there. We're going to have Frank on, and Chris will be on here, and we're going to talk all kinds of stuff about college football, pro football, and stuff like that. So, absolutely.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I don't particularly care for pro ball, which I meant to ask you the other day. I've got to set my fantasy team lineup. I don't even know what to do. I've been out of it for so long. because when they quit standing for the anthem, I quit standing up to change the channel.
Yeah.
You know, so I ain't watched NFL for years.
Well,
Still
and
haven't watched
I
the Chiefs.
really don't watch that much of it. I watch the Falcons because I'm a fan, and I will watch like from a kid, man, I just love to watch the Monday Night Football. I do. And I'll watch a little bit of the Sunday night because Sunday during the day, I'm at church. I get home, I'm out, if the Falcons are on, I'm watching them. Sunday night, when I get home, the Sunday Night Football is fixing to come on, so I catch that Monday night. And then I will watch the Thursday night, but I don't really catch unless the Falcons are on, the 1 o'clock or the 4 o'clocks. I don't get into all that. So what I do is just look at the highlights. Dude, you know what's the best thing is the red zone where they just show the highlights. That's the best thing to watch. You're just watching touchdowns and field goals and stuff, or interceptions for touchdowns. You don't got to watch all the games. That's one of the great things you can get into is one of those highlight things, and it just does all the work for you, and you ain't got to sit and watch, while they're scratching themselves and everything else, getting ready to run for 1.5 yards 3 times in a row and punt. I mean, because that's boring.
Miss Marjorie, you come back soon, okay?
Yes, you
That
do.
was hilarious.
Thank you,
We
Miss
love
Marjorie.
having you on.
You've been a blessing to us tonight. Hope we gave you a couple of laughs.
All right, Dave. I gotta say, I've been praying all day today that Daniel would be on here tonight,
He might pop in. You never know.
and I hope he shows up because you know what he's going to bring up again. And I'm still waiting because Sunday's the day, and I don't know if any of your deacons are watching this or anything, but if y'all are, y'all remember, amen, sugar britches, whatever you say.
That is great right there. That is great.
And if
Where's
that
my
happens, Robert, if that happens,
Yes,
I'm going to get you back so hard.
If that happens, I win.
No.
Yeah.
I've got ways to get you back, brother. I'll send a Jehovah's Witness to your house.
Yeah.
And what?
I know your address.
I know your address. I'll send the Jehovah's Witness over to your address. I'll say you're interested in becoming one of them.
That's like getting
last Sunday while you were
that's
there.
like getting one of them harassing phone calls. I'll have to record that.
It'd make for great material. Yeah,
It would. Just hang your phone around your neck like a body cam, like a police cam, and just open the door and start talking.
Yeah, I could be like, "Oh, y'all come on in. We just fixed to prepare the sacrifice."
I got to tell you,
we're celebrating our birthdays today.
I saw this comedian last night, and I laughed so hard. I want to share. This is funny, man. This guy was saying that he'd met this guy, and they was just talking and everything, and he said, well, the guy that's talking, he said, well, what's your name? And the guy said, Bominicius. And he said he's a fast talker. He was talking about people that talk real fast. He said, Bominicius. And he said, Bominicius? What kind of name is that? He says, okay. He said, so a whole week went by, maybe 2. And every time he'd say, hey, Bominicius, how you doing? And then after several, week or so, maybe 2 weeks, he saw him out. He said, hey, Bominicius, go to the store and get you something to drink. Come on back. We'll watch the ball game together. And his nephew or whatever said, hey, why you calling him Bominicius? He said, well, man, that's what he told me that everybody calls him. He goes, no, his name's CJ. He goes, he tells you to call him by his initials. Bominicius. I laughed so hard. I've thought on that all day long, man. That is absolutely hilarious.
That's funny.
Well, Bominicius kind of rhymes with that other name. I ain't gonna throw it back out there right now. I'm gonna wait and see if Daniel comes on tonight.
We'll see if he comes on.
Oh my goodness! I love that boy.
My goodness! We've rocked for 45 minutes, man. I don't think it felt like 2 minutes, man.
It has.
It's been a blast. What do you say we run a couple of commercials and we need to get ARA some good old quality right in the middle time. Don't leave us, folks. We want to highlight our Animal Rescue Association with these wonderful folks. We got to at least run that one Rob, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are.
Awesome.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. You know, you guys were talking about shopping on Amazon earlier, you know, and
Yeah.
since you just played the Pet of the Week, just remind the viewers that if you go into the Pet of the Week descriptions, if you're on YouTube, for instance, there's a link there over to the ARA website where you can see their Amazon shopping list for paper towels they need, dog food, supplies, and or you can donate via PayPal. So if you really want to touch the lives of some animals, do the right thing, support your animal shelters, especially the no-kill shelters like this one. They need you guys. They love your support. And I just wanted to throw that in there if you fellas didn't mind.
No, that's great. I donated a little bit of money the other day. It's so easy to do either way. I use the PayPal, which is safe. PayPal is a safe one, you know, but however, and I know some people don't, you know, we have all these things that happen. Some people get mad at some, you know, money organizations and stuff for different reasons and stuff, but there is ways to do that. And there's always ways to send it directly too, you know, through the mail. I mean, there's still people that do stuff like that. And we appreciate you for supporting. These are I love it. They're you know what, when you see their post on whether it's Facebook or X or wherever else they may be, you know, you just find yourself stopping and it gives you a smile in your heart. But you want to help. I mean, you just feel a need. But the way they write those stories up about those animals, you can tell how much they love them just by the way they talk about them. That makes me feel good. You know,
Well,
Me too.
I got some news this morning. They're out of cats. They've got kittens, but they're out of grown cats now.
oh wow,
So, but
awesome.
they've got about 20 kittens to be ready by the end of the month. So let's go ahead and put that out there for you people that's down here in this area in South Georgia, Albany, Colquitt, Donaldsonville, Blakely, Bainbridge, Dothan. Y'all come on. End of the month. Better come now and pick out the one that you want.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You can even come from the great area of Tallahassee. Come on up.
Oh, yes.
Lame it.
Yep. Well, fellas, my
I
stepson
go
just
to
came to
Tallahassee
town.
quite often. I'm going to get some footage down there. Y'all have never, I love Tallahassee. I love the way it's laid out. It's very clean. The areas I've been to or go around, it's very clean. It's very nice. It's well laid out. It's fairly easy to maneuver for bigger city, but you know, I like Tallahassee. And
I think Chris has got to go. I think he said his son-in-law was in, and Chris, we
He
appreciate
is.
you, brother.
Thank you for having me. He just
Yeah.
got in from West Virginia about 45 minutes ago, so we're going to have dinner here in a minute. But guys, it's so good to be here tonight. It's so good to
Well,
be
it's
a
good
part
to
of
have
this.
you here.
Thank you so much for having me. So,
We appreciate all you do. Enjoy your family time
Yeah.
there.
thank you
And
for
Tell
that.
him I said hi.
yeah,
will.
great shout out to West Virginia. I've loved traveling through that state as well.
It's a great place. So thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
you.
Thanks for having me.
You got it,
You're
man.
welcome, Chris. Let's see here. Hi. There we go. What do you got me on the left side for? You know I can't be on the left side.
I didn't do that. I
Oh,
just throwed myself on stage. I didn't I
okay.
didn't do the placing for anybody. I'll leave that to you. You know, that's like when you go somewhere and somebody, you know, I went in this meeting one time at work and and I went this I was gonna for some reason I was in that meeting. I didn't normally go. Maybe I was gonna share something or it's part of my job, whatever it is. And I went and sat down in this chair. It's just a bunch of, you know how it is. I mean, you've been there, a bunch of chairs. And this lady walks up to me. She's a big lady. I mean, big lady, tall. What I mean, tall. And she walks up in front of me and she says, "You're in my chair." And I looked up. I thought she's joking. I said, "Oh yeah, really?" Kind of laughed. She goes, "I mean it. You're in my chair." And somebody, I looked up. I'm like, "What's going on?" And one of the other people said, "She sits there every day, man. I don't know what to tell you, but that's kind of like her chair." I said, "Well, I'll be glad to move. I mean, there's like, you know, 10 on each side of me. I mean, it's no big deal." And she sat
Right.
down. And I guess after a few minutes, she felt bad. And she goes, "I didn't mean to sound the way that it did, but I feel like that's my chair. I sit there every day." I said, "Hey, you can have it." I've never been one to claim chairs and stuff, you know, but some people are very serious about that stuff.
She watched Big Bang Theory too much.
So it's-
Yeah, yeah, that's my
I've never,
spot.
yeah, I've never seen that show. So, you know,
Well, you could have just taken the chairs the next day, swap it out with the one in front of it. Just swap them around and see if it's the chair or the spot.
well, and then put a label on that chair that you moved and put "my chair" or something like that. Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
funny?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is my chair.
She'd be
My
sitting down. She'd be sitting down looking at the label on the chair in front of her. "My chair."
oh my goodness. You know, I got to get back on a rabbit hole here and get you fired up again. That was amazing. Don't you love it when you go out to a restaurant and you tell them specifically how you want something cooked? Like no cheese. And they
Yeah,
bring it out to you with cheese on it?
yeah. You know, you're going to be shocked at this. Between me and my wife, you're going to be really shocked, Robert.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that, unless it's really bad, I just can't eat it. I just go ahead and eat it. My wife is the one that will say, "I'm not eating that." Believe it or not, sweet little old Lynn, she becomes a bear about that stuff. And the biggest thing for her, and she was on here, she'll laugh at this, but it's true. She knows it's true. If her steak is not, if it's got red in it, it's going back, Jack. I told her if it's just a little bit, it's really close, Lynn. Just let it go. You know, we're going to get delayed. They're going to have to cook it again. She goes, I don't care. I'm not eating it. She, you can go sit in the car. I'll eat by myself. And she'll send that thing back every time. I'm the guy that'll go, well, it's a little more than, you know, not what I wanted, but I'll just go ahead.
I don't know how you eat burnt steak anyway.
She about likes it like that. You know, I knew a guy once. He loved. This is we were at a church social kind of thing, had an event going on, and you know you're busy running around, you're doing all this stuff, and somebody accidentally left some cookies in the oven just a little long. I mean, they got black. I mean, they look like charcoal biscuits or something. And they brought them out, and they're like, "Well, we got another can. Don't worry, we got them already. Get them back in there." And this lady said, I'll throw this one away." And the guy we had in there that was the guest, his wife said, "Oh, please don't do that. My husband loves those." We're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is kind of a joke." And she goes, "No, no, no. He loves burnt cookies." And she said, if he'll eat some now, and if you don't want the rest," I said, "Nobody here's going to eat those." She said, "Just wrap them up. We'll take them home. He loves them. It's his favorite thing is burnt cookies." I've never heard of that.
I have. I like some stuff I like cooked, like just about burnt or just like, and I'll admit this on popcorn. I don't mind if there's some in there that's a little bit overdone. I
Yeah,
like
what to do with it?
mixed in. You know, it's good to me. I don't know why, but my steak, it better not be like that. Let me go ahead and tell you right now. I eat steak, and when I eat steak, I do not want shoe leather. I do not want burnt steak. I want it charred on the outside, and when I stick my fork in it, I want it to jump a little bit. That's the way I want it. All right. Now it's called Pittsburgh style. You can make a nice little butter sauce to go over the top of it. Oh
Nah,
man. Oh.
I'm a well done kind of guy, but I can go medium well if I have to, and stuff. But I can do that.
Mm.
But
I want to
yeah,
hear talking.
not me, man,
Mm.
not me.
My cat's looking at me funny. She's like, me too.
I was thinking when Miss Margie was in here, and about stuff, but they have stuck me a little bit. It's at the gas pump. The place I
What?
go get gas. They've stuck me a little bit. I'm stuck doing something that infuriates me. If you want to save 5 cents or 10, or is it? Oh, here's the thing. I got you another one. This burns me up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of like, what's the little guy that was in Lethal Weapon? Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
I fixed to tell you something that's you're going to agree with me. You might not. So I shop at this place all the time. Faithful customer, So this is the games they play now. It's all intended to drive us crazy and rip us off. So anyway, you go up and you see on the big sign. Well, you got to have gas, but you see on the big sign what the price is.
Sure.
And forever and a day, whatever that price was, they have the price for the diesel, they have the price for the regular, and then sometimes they'll have price of the other, but usually you'll see that get up there. I don't go for the super gas. I just go for the old regular, unleaded.
It's gas.
And it's gas, I don't. All these people said you had to put the others in. I've never done that, and I've never lost an engine yet. But that's okay if that's what they want to do. So anyway, and I do it burns cleaner, and or better, and you get more compressed, whatever. But anyway, so I go inside, and or if I'm paying at the pump, let's say I'm paying at the pump, and here's the deal: is if you pay with a card, they jack it up 5 more cents on you, or 10 more cents, or something like that. It's crazy. But if you'll put your number in, your telephone number, you got to sign up on this crap. If you'll type your telephone number in, another way they got you got to have their app. You got to be signed up. You got to put your telephone number in. They'll drop that 5. Dude, they're still ripping you off 5 points. And I know the banks are ripping them off on the cost of the credit debit card purchases and all that, but everybody's getting ripped. So I have to do all that, or I'm paying 5 cents or 10 cents more a gallon. I got to do the whole thing I hate, which drives me crazy. And I didn't do it for a while, and I finally started doing it. I sit there at the pump every time, and I just shake my head. I mean, it's just like, and and they'll say, be sure to put your number in to save on the gas. I'm thinking, I'm not saving. I'm still getting ripped.
Let me. It's Nirvana here, Dave. We don't have that down here. We see a price up there on the thing. We just pull in. That's the price. We don't have to deal with them little cards.
It's communism, man. It's come to North Georgia, man. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not coming down here. We don't. I mean, because we would. I just speaking for myself. I don't know about everybody else. I'd burn a half a tank of gas to go somewhere to get gas where I didn't have to do that.
Well, what they want you to do, they want you to bring cash money in, and a lot of times people just ain't carrying around cash. I may have to start doing that because I'm getting ripped. But I get it. The banks are ripping these people on, to pay their fees and stuff. There used to be at some stores, you had to buy a minimum of $5 of merchandise to use your card because of the cost of that. They were actually losing money. That's the banks doing it to them. The wicked banks. I'm sorry. If you work at a bank, I'm glad you got a job. But the banks and insurance companies, they gonna make sure they get it. It just drives me nuts. That's why in the South, let's just think about this now. That's why in the South, that forever and a day, and there's still some people out there like this. Where do they keep their money? Under their mattress or in some mason jars they hid out in back? What didn't old dude have a song like that? The Woolly Swamp or something?
Charlie Daniels had a song like that.
Yeah. And well, people did that. They didn't want the man knowing what they had. And they didn't want sitting in no bank because banks had crashed in 29 and people didn't trust banks. And they lost all their money. And so the what I would call the old timers, they were young at the time. I mean, they lost everything they had and they struggled and some of them died. They just starved to death. People committed suicide. And so people didn't trust the federal government. They didn't trust the federal banking system. And the local bank didn't matter because it's all tied in. And they would keep their money. You know where the old farmer keeps his money at, right? right there in his bib overalls.
Yeah.
He'll have enough cash to choke a cat or a cow right there in the top pocket. That's where he wants his money, right there where he can get to it. It's protected, and he ain't showing the man how much he's got, but that's where he keeps his money at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So sorry, Michael. We're praying for you, buddy.
yes, buddy. And people don't think about that anymore. Let's just chunk in the bank. Let's chunk in the bank. Let's chunk in the bank. Let's chunk in the stock market. Let's chunk in the stock market. Let's do all this stuff here. But I believe it looks like the market's fixing to bottom out.
Well, and I wanted to transition here just a little bit, and we're going to have to do a whole program on this. But I was just thinking how on edge everything is right now. Mm-hmm. With inflation the way it is, and I said it affects the front porch, and here I'm gonna lay it out and give you why. Because with inflation as high as it is, all the taxes and everything, it continues to go up. Every good and service that you deal with is going up. There's nothing going down. Everything is jacking up. The housing prices, rentals, gas, food, you name it. And so people are having to work longer hours or work multiple jobs. And the family's being impacted because we don't have time to sit around the front porch a lot of times because we're having to work more and more and more to get less and less and less. And if something don't happen, there's already people that are living in their cars all over the place. There's people that cannot find housing who even have the money. But most people are paying all their money out to live in a place, a small apartment or a trailer or whatever. And barely making it by, and something breaks down, and they're in an emergency situation. There's no backup cash. They're just we're in trouble. We're in massive trouble, and it's affecting people that have really good paying jobs as well. They're having to alter their lifestyle a little bit, which they never did before. But there are so many people below the poverty line, man. We're at a breaking point. And the debt that America's in continues to escalate. That's not a party line. That's just politicians have run amok, and they've ruined our nation. And we're sending all this money out to stuff. Whether you agree with it or not, the fact is it's still going out of our nation to go all around the world to all kinds of things. And now there's businesses are collapsing. They're going out of business. They can't afford to pay their workers. There's companies that are trimming back. The foreign competition is hitting us really hard right now, and I'm really concerned about it. I'm concerned about, as we sit on the front porch. I think this is something the folks would talk about on the front porch is, and we were talking about this today, and a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people, I know you do, but I think a lot of Americans better really invest in a home garden. They better do it, because I'm going to tell you, there's only so much food supply, and America's in trouble. The energy grid, power grid, is in trouble. And think of all the people that depend on the federal government to send them their money. And what do they do every time that they want to kind of put a fear in everybody? They talk about the government shut down. Well, they're going to cut your checks off, which that's a lie anyway. They're not going to do that. But they tell everybody that. But the federal government has control of so many different things of how your money is controlled through the banking. And I know people can call me a nut. I really don't care. But every president since Kennedy, maybe slightly before, but I know it was ever since Kennedy, the executive orders have just rose and rose and rose and rose and rose. And the event of a crisis in America, in the event, and by the way, who defines that crisis? Who defines that?
Yeah.
Could it be a medical thing? Could it be a COVID? Well, it could qualify. But anyway, the president themselves, by executive order, it's already in there, has the power to shut down all banking, all interstate commerce, the major highways, all that stuff. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Look that up and tell me where we're at and the danger zone we're in. And if that doesn't really kind of strike some fear about this election and what could happen leading up to it, or as it's going on, or afterwards, I think either way it goes, I think we're going to have a rocky road running into 2025, man. I don't see any way out of it. The
I don't
country's
either.
a tinderbox. There's so many people against each other, and depending on who wins, it's going to inflame. I'm not saying that everybody on both sides would do that, but there's certainly a lot of people who would, and I just am really concerned about what's fixing to happen. As a poll worker, I'm concerned about violence at the polling place or the precinct or whatever. In our area, I don't think that's a huge thing, but it's always possible. It's always possible. What do you think, man? I just think
I,
there's a
I
lot
want
going
to throw.
on.
I want to throw something out here. When you were talking about, all the money that we have that we ship to other countries. All right, we borrow money
Yeah,
to give to other countries. That's the bottom line on it. We borrow money to give to other countries. Why don't these other countries go borrow their own money? Why do? Because they won't pay it back, and these other countries know that.
because
So
we've got
we
a hand.
borrow money and give
We
it away.
Yeah, we've got a handful of cash we just keep giving out. By the way, the debt is backed up a lot by China and also the oil and the BRICS. If you've heard about that, the nations that are lining and they're doing things without the American dollar, not the dollar, but in something else. That's growing, and we're headed for a financial disaster if something doesn't change, and I think change pretty quick.
And
That's just facts. I mean, I'm
that
not
is
doom and gloom. I'm just saying be a realist and look at what's going on. And you got to wonder if it's not all orchestrated. I'm not going to go down conspiracy lane, but I will say there are people I think that would be kind of happy if it did because we got so much hatred in our nation. They hate the nation and they want to control this nation and control the people in it. There are people that want to do that. But however you look at it, there is danger in the tea leaves, as you say. I hope and pray it doesn't happen. But what if all of a sudden all these people that have to have daily medications can't get them? By the way, we're already seeing shortages, right? On certain medications, you can't get them. The pharmacies go, I'm sorry, maybe tomorrow, check back in a week. Wait a minute, this is blood pressure. I got to have this. I'm sorry, we don't have it. You call around, but nobody has it. And they won't give you but so many. So the most you could have is 3 months. And what if we went on an extended kind of a lockdown where things were, and some things you just couldn't get for a long time? And what would people do to be able to get it? What kind of control would they cede over to be able to get the things they need? This is kind of a scary thing, but I don't think it's out of bounds, man. I think it's real,
I'll tell you something that is very atypical of what's going on in this country right now. You ready for this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Medication. That's for diabetes. They wanted me on Ozempic. I tried to get it. I took it for a while. Did real good on it. Kept my sugar just right. Then all of a sudden, they find out, you can lose weight with Ozempic.
Yeah.
It ain't for diabetes no more. It's for weight loss. But those of us that did good on it and that needed it for the diabetic side of it, we can't get it. We cannot get it. And they probably tripled the price.
My family had to switch over to another one. Well, I believe my wife was on Ozempic at one point. She couldn't get it no more. I mean, and my son, I think he was in the same boat, and they've both got switched over to another one because they just can't get those things, man. And that's just one example, man. Think of all the medicines that come from out of country. Most of the stuff is not even produced here. Yeah. I don't know about those, but there's a lot of medications that come from China.
Yeah,
they are our pharmacy, dude. They shut the pharmacy down. What are we going to do for all the medicine?
Well, they make us sick, then they cure us.
Yeah,
that might have been a little bit political. I'm sorry.
Well, I know it's not the funnest thing to talk about on the front porch, but sometimes you just got to go there. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, wouldn't our grandfathers have sit on the front porch and said, things ain't looking good down at the mill. By the way, there's a lot of jobs that was lost back in the 60s. That's why some people had to move up north for a while and work. My family was one of them. You couldn't get a job. Jobs was really bad. Think of all they destroyed the hosiery mills in the South. most of the clothing all of them went belly up, man. It all died, man. It all went overseas, and it destroyed whole areas of our Southland.
Yeah.
I mean, go up into the Appalachians and go up into Kentucky or West Virginia or somewhere like, and look at what's going on up there. You'd think he's in a third world nation in some areas up there. It's so bad.
Oh, yeah.
They're busing kids 50 miles to go to school because they had to shut down some schools, and they killed the coal. I don't know. People don't like coal. I'm sorry. That was a good paying job for people up there, and there's not a lot of jobs in those areas. And so anyway, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you take an area like that. Okay, nobody likes coal. Well, that's one of the biggest suppliers of electricity in this country.
it has been,
We
yeah.
don't like it. We don't like coal. You like electricity? You like having air conditioning? You like having a computer? You like having a TV, lights in your house, a hot water? You like coal.
One of my great. By the way, China ramping up all that. They're ramping up and we're ramping down. But one of the greatest memories I have, Rob, is being in. My mom's parents passed away, and she was raised by some foster parents. Had a couple of different families, and they were awesome. And one of them was this. They were the Shoemakers. That's what is their name, Shoemaker. And they were this older couple. They lived in this little bitty house up in around Cleveland, Tennessee. I remember going there as just a small boy because she would go back and see him. That was, that's like another mom and dad to her. And hers had died. So we'd go, and the other one that she went to back to, because the Shoemakers got where they couldn't, I mean, their health was getting them. But I have these early memories of going to their house, neat little tidy house, but they had the little stove in there, and they cooked on that stove and all that. And he wore the overalls, but they had the coal pile out in the yard. That was very much a part of my childhood, was seeing those. As a matter of fact, where I live, I have found parts of that back when I was young. I would find still pieces of that in my backyard. They had the coal pile. They'd come out and dump a pile of coal in your yard. You bought it and they dumped it there, and you just resupplied. But I remember that, man. You don't see that no more.
No.
But I remember that. I played on that coal pile a little bit, They say, just don't get hurt, little Davy.
Yeah. But we do have viable sources for clean electricity.
We do.
Dams.
And we do some of that. It just doesn't supply enough.
But now they're talking about shutting them down too.
Yeah,
because,
I know.
the fish can't get upstream. There's fish upstream, there's fish downstream. Fish lay eggs upstream, they lay eggs downstream. I mean, come on. It's clean.
I'm one of those people. I'm not against any of that. I love the hydro. I love, if you want to have, I don't really want them in my backyard, but if you've got the wind turbines, I know there's some issues with them. It's not the prettiest thing, but if they're going to do it, solar, I got no problem with that. It's effective and it works. But the problem is you have to have that hardcore power, that nuclear or steam or whatever it is that you've got, coal, whatever, to keep these. When you talk about a major manufacturing plant, I'm sorry, solar's not keeping that thing rolling with all them 40 horse motors and all that rolling. They draw a lot of energy. And by the way, I'm glad you brought this up. I saw an article. This concerns me, man. I'm telling you, I'm concerned. All across the South, and by the way, this is happening in our state right now, Robert. These data centers that are going up everywhere, and they sit in massive warehouses, all these little machines chunking information. They draw massive amounts of power. They have to have water supply to cool those areas. They have to, because they produce so much heat. And they say that I've seen this lately. This is not read like online or some crazy. This was the news doing a story about there's a concern in Georgia. Are we going to be able to supply all the energy that's needed in Georgia going forward if we don't make some other changes? Because they finally put that other nuclear power plant online. They still had rights to do. It's one of the few in America that's been approved in the last 30 years, Vogeltool or whatever it's called. But they're drawing so much energy in these, and they're building more across the South. there's a fear there's not going to be enough electricity for everybody. And so what are they going to do? Shut yours off so they can keep that running?
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Go look that up. These data centers and how big they are and the massive amounts of energy that they're drawing, and they're building them in our state by the droves. But it's not just here; it's all across the South, and it's controversial. It really is. I'm not against business, and I'm not against those, but we may have to they may have to regulate that a little bit, just because our power systems are not. They're not too bad here, but we've got issues with them. But if you go west, the power grids have issues. It's antiquated. There's brown that goes out, brownouts. There's times that things break down. It's not consistent like in California, across the some of the western states. I mean, they live with it, but I am concerned about it. You read something like that and you're like, wait a minute, we're reducing our ability to make energy, but we're building something that draws more energy than we can produce. Something's got to give, man.
No, they won't do anything to change it. Not until they absolutely have to. They won't. And when it gets to where it won't go, then they'll do something. They're not planning ahead. And while we're on the front porch, there's an issue down here right now that's hitting local. And I want to get your opinion on this. Okay.
All right.
Here in Bainbridge, Georgia,
okay,
they're wanting to put in a monkey farm. Yes, you heard me correctly. A monkey
farm.
They want to raise monkeys for them to do testing on for like big pharma and stuff like that. Now,
that's tough, Rob.
That's tough. Now they're not depleting natural resources. The wild monkeys, these monkeys are being bred just for that. However, I am not for this. Man, everybody's got loose. They look too much like folks, I might think it's one of my relatives, huh?
I can see you wake up. There's one sitting on your front porch.
If it throws poo at me, I'm shooting it.
He shows you. He shows you his teeth and shakes his head.
But it really is happening. It really is.
I was looking at it from another direction. I like that, but I was looking at it from the direction is I know that it's controversial. All animal testing is controversial. However, I know that it has saved lives. But a monkey, to me, it's just the way I think. A monkey is way different than a mouse or a little rodent or something they test on. To me, I know it's all creatures, but that's just I don't know. Maybe somebody could chime in. I just think that I'm I don't know. That bothers me. But I thought you were joking. Like they're really wanting to build a monkey farm.
They really are. This is coming. They're fighting it. That they really want to build a monkey farm in Bainbridge, Georgia. No joke.
I've never heard of such a thing. And how did they decide in the great metropolis of Bainbridge that was the place to do it? Just because they have open area? I mean, why there?
Let me see here.
I don't understand.
Let me pull this up because I know it's here. Let's see. All I got to do is plug in and spell it correctly. There we go. Didn't even have to type it all the way in. It was already pulling up. Hey, did you see who's here?
I saw it.
There's Daniel. There's my sugar britches right there.
Good evening, Daniel.
Georgia Court of Appeals hears Bainbridge monkey facility arguments. I'm going to share screen on this if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. If it's gotten to that level, I'm surprised I hadn't heard about it. That's went through some courts to get to that level. So is it because it was voted in or voted out that it's there? Or somebody
trying to vote it out? It's there.
That mean it was
put it in there. There you go.
Well, I'll be.
Those hats and signs are all over.
No monkey facility in Bainbridge. I love it. I love it.
You thought I was yanking your chain.
I really did. I thought, come on, man. They're not. The only monkey down there is you.
Yeah. And see, that's what you get. There's a whole news article on it. Look here.
Stop the monkeys.
The legal battle over the Bainbridge monkey facility took one step further on Thursday. Hey, Sugar Britches, you hear that? They're going to be raising monkeys down here. I bet he'll have something to say about that.
Now let's be clear, because Michael's got a point here. I don't have no problem with testing things to make sure they're good, but we're talking about experiments to see introducing diseases to them and see how they can cure them and all that. What does this mean? You got to clarify that. What is the monkey? What does that encompass?
Okay. These monkeys have all been raised in captivity.
Okay.
All right. They are clean. Okay. They have not been taken out of the wild. I guess the original ones were, but no more of these are being taken out of the wild. These are all captive born, captive bred animals. And they use it for testing, like genetic, seeing if medications work on them, stuff like that. The animals could very well die.
Yeah.
Right? But they have to test the material somehow, but nobody wants a monkey farm in their city.
This sounds like a good B movie that's going to be made, and what a great place to make it, man! This is like one of those late Saturday night, like after midnight kind of movies, and you've got this town that's terrorized by a roving band of monkeys that are just terrorizing the women and the children. And they're climbing on everything, man. Policeman's in his car and the monkeys are rocking the car, man. It's like
Planet of the Apes. Here we go.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's gonna be like Clyde he's gonna be like Clyde from every
Right turn, Clyde. Yeah. You're pumping gas and some monkey comes up and punches you in the back of the head.
Either that or he gets a piece of newspaper, starts cleaning your windshield. Someone pushes you off and takes it away and got his little hat on, filling your car up. You better tip him too.
Oh, man. I can just hear that old 50s, 60s music playing in the background, the little shocking music, like, scary.
Yeah. Those commercials.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I love those. The only question is, who stars in this movie, man? Who stars in the movie of the what do we call it? The attack on Bainbridge? I don't know.
Oh, there's only two.
No. Monkey business in Bainbridge.
Yes. There's two people. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Deadpool and Wolverine are going to have to come in and clean Bainbridge up and get these monkeys out of here.
I love it, man. I love it.
Either that or Dwayne Johnson.
Okay, I go with it.
Did you ever see The Rundown?
I don't think I did.
He was swinging upside down, and these monkeys, he got caught in some kind of trap, and he was paralyzed. He couldn't move, and there are all the monkeys in the trees, and he's like talking, "Go away, monkey, go away."
Who's the girl? Who's the girl? Now you got to have a love interest, that because the girl gets captured by the monkeys.
Oh, the girl's got to be captured by the monkeys?
Well, you figure that's what's going to happen. That's why the guys go in to save the town and get the girl. I mean,
Nancy Pelosi. Oh, no, they'd bring her back.
That ain't going to work, man.
They'd bring her back. Never mind.
The monkeys would say, she's better off with y'all. They'd make an exchange. They would take somebody hostage, and make us take her back, I cannot believe that, man. I feel like it's a dream. I cannot believe. I thought she was really totally
No, this is a real
just
thing.
messing with me, man. Because I was thinking Bainbridge of all places. I mean, come on. I could think Savannah or even somewhere down in Florida, but Bainbridge. Why in the world would Bainbridge want to? Good
Well, it
grief.
is. All right, all right. In all fairness,
I'm sorry if
is.
anybody's listening that's behind this project or believes in it and everything. And I'm a capitalist. I believe in free enterprise and all that stuff. But I there's some things you don't want in your backyard.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw this up there and out there. Even though I'm a Georgia fan, Bainbridge is the hometown of Kirby Smart, the
Okay.
coach, Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah. And, maybe that's why they brought it in here, monkey see, monkey do. Because, he did learn under Nick Saban, and he's doing a lot of same stuff that Nick Saban did. So I'm just saying, monkey see, monkey do.
Well, if
But
they
there's
get
some
one,
kind of monkey business going on down here.
if they get one big enough and fast enough, he'll recruit him to Georgia. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be some monkey business right there. We don't want to monkey around with this thing.
That's right. We don't want to monkey around with it. We want to make sure we quail the uprising. This is amazing you bring this up. I was just watching last night, and I was watching an old Johnny Carson show. I'm a big fan of the old Johnny Carson. I love those clips. But I can't remember. It wasn't the first Planet of the Apes. It was like 3 or 4, and it was that little comedian. It was who acted some Paul something. What is his name? And he, huh? No. Paul. It's not Paulie. Paul. I know his name, but he came on. He had just came from the set. They were about 4 days away from finishing up filming. It was like Planet of the Apes 4 or something like that. Battle for the Planet of the Apes or something like that. And he came on with John. He came in with all the makeup on. So he sat there and did the interview like that. It was hilarious. So it's funny that you bring this up, man. I was like, man, I was just thinking about this last night.
Dude, I mean, and you can't look, I'm out there, but there ain't no way to make this up. I mean, come on.
I'll guarantee you, if we told some people that, they would think we were lying. They would think that we had made that story up. I'll guarantee you they would think of that.
Just back on real stuff. What? That is real stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it is real stuff. And I have heard this, but I'm going to tell you what, Michael, it's went too far. They won't be able to do it. And the reason they won't be able to do it is they don't control all the actors that are involved. And even if we did here, the ones around the world are not going to stop in different places. And that's the problem. You're absolutely correct. By the way, this was all predicted several years ago when this first started coming. There were books written about it where people said it will get out of control because of evil of men, the greed of men or whatever, trying to, just change things and make their mark and all that. It was all predicted. Now, the part that I told my boss at the time, he's really into that thing, and he would always just pump information at me, and he was all doom and gloom. He really believed that AI was going to destroy man because they would eventually have so much knowledge. It would have so much knowledge. It would know every counterpoint we'd ever do, and they would eventually control us and then destroy us. And I said, that's not going to happen. And he'd say, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. And he said, how can you say that? I said, I can say that in 2 words, Jesus Christ. That's not happening. AI is not stopping Jesus Christ, and he's the king of this world. And so it is going to be bad. I think there'll be a lot of bad things happen because people are evil, man. Some of these people, these scientists, they're just evil. There's good scientists and there's bad ones. There's good developers and there's bad ones. And there's people that are, they're building a lot of these things now. And we're for a rocky road in some ways. I think some of the future armies are going to be filled with, machines with AI, abilities and stuff. And so anyway, give us your thoughts on that. So somebody that's listening in or watching or give us a text, send us an email. We love to have interaction and tell us what you think about that. I'm not an expert in that area, but I do keep my they used to say that old expression, keep your ear to the ground, because you could hear the train coming or the cavalry coming or whatever it was, or the wagons. Well, I can keep my ear to the ground because AI, and some other things too. But it's, by the way, it's already infiltrated our workplaces, because all of the at my work, even there are people that use AI to cross, and check all of their papers they write, or the things they write up or whatever, to look for a better way to write it. And to be honest, excuse me, to be honest, I mean, it's even, even here at the podcast, there's some of that's been used to help set up some of the things behind the scenes and that we've worked on. So, I mean, it's a part of everyday life now, to be honest. And whether that's whatever that particular AI is called, but I do, it's went too far. I don't think we can pull it back, because there are people who will not let it be pulled back. My opinion.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what other people think about it. I really would, but I think that that is a problem.
I think it's definitely a problem.
That's right, Michael. Nothing stops our Lord and Savior. Nothing.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And
yeah.
we don't, I think it's going to.
It's a good topic. We'll have to revisit AI. We'll have to revisit.
Let's revisit it, but let's keep something in mind. Every major advancement that's ever happened, as long as we've been having advancements, it seems like, especially more recently, it's going to destroy the world as we know it. A lot of people are saying that about the internet, which it didn't help it that much. It sped things up. We move at a faster pace. We're able to do more things, a lot more things than we used to could. But, it didn't destroy us. Now, is it used right all the time? No. Well, AI is going to have the same issues. Yeah, and it may very well backfire. But it's going to be the same thing, I think.
Yeah. Michael mentions about the cars and their ability. I saw something here a while back. It was it was in that case in California, and they were bragging on technology. And in this particular instance, the technology, it did a great thing. And the case was where the people that ran over the kids in the crosswalk and killed them, and because of the impact, there was a sensor in that car. I think it was BMW. I could be wrong if I'm wrong, but it's the sensor. It shuts the car down. It detects there's a problem. And in that case, that was a great thing. But I got to thinking, well, what if you are trying to get away from bad people, and in doing that, you have some sort of an impact, and it shuts you down? I mean, there can be situations where those kind of decisions can be bad. So technology can have its really wonderful side, but it can also have some negatives,
Okay. And here's some thoughts that I have on the technology and the cars and stuff. I think we're focusing a lot of times in the wrong directions. Now, I'm going to voice something out there. Now, I have something that I have really strong feelings about and my thoughts on it. I think we are very soft on drunk drivers in this country, or stoned or high or whatever. The little tester thing, I think that ought to be a part of every vehicle. If you're drunk and you blow into it, you can't drive it. It'll lock up until someone resets it. Or they can send a signal out from somewhere and reset it the next day. A lot of people won't agree with that. And I'm okay with that. It's just my opinion, and it would, instead of, having people out there driving drunk, they'll be sitting at their home drunk. I think that's a good idea, but that's me.
And I've heard this argument too, and I get that. I do. I would just say it has to be set up in such a way because there can be manipulation of that. Because some people say, well, it would just censor the alcohol level in the air. But what if you're the designated driver for some people that have drank too much, and if it's detecting them, then you can't, drive. Or if they are drunk and they just get somebody to blow in it.
Yeah.
There is a way around that. It's all being developed. I just think I get what you're saying. I do. but that's a slippery slope.
Yeah. But
Because
you know what?
if you introduce it for that, what else gets introduced into your car?
It is a slope. It is a slope, but there isn't anything much more dangerous on our roads today than someone that's drunk.
Okay.
Would that say would
well, let's take it another level. Speed kills. Robert, do you ever drive too fast? Or when you drove, did you drive too fast?
Yeah.
You go above the speed limit? Would you like a sensor on your car that automatically shuts your car down and you have to pull over and wait 10 minutes?
I don't.
Or call into somewhere and get approval to start back up if you went 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit?
Well,
I'm just asking.
What if it's not? If it had its own control in the car, and they have the technology for this because they have cruise control, where it won't go over a certain amount of speed, 5, 10 over.
Again, what if you're trying to get on the interstate and you have to speed up that faster to get in? I'm just saying that kind of control is dangerous.
Or what if you have to speed up to pass a car?
What if they censor your brakes and they say you're hitting your brakes too hard, or this goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it can make a slippery slope.
This is that slope, man. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying we have to be careful when you start turning over that kind of power to the people who love power. And I think we're already there. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what's going to happen, and you probably have already seen it. When you have, and it's going to, where it's going to happen, where the regulation is going to come in is the insurance. Yes. The insurance is they're already working on the insurance to have differing rates, and eventually your insurance is going to be through the roof, as they say, if you don't allow them to put these things on. You can already get discounts for putting those things on there that you won't drive over a certain speed, you won't hit your brakes too hard, all that stuff. They're already out there. Well, what happens when you go down? They say, I don't want that stuff, and it's not a discount. Now we're going to jack it up, and they're going to say, well, you do this, or we're going to have to charge you an extra $100 a month or so. That's where it goes, man. I'm just telling you, that's the slope, and that kind of control, or what, do we not get to move around at midnight, or you had to get approval to go to work, and have somebody approve that you can move your car. I'm not down with it, man, because I get crime is bad and we got to stop, but you have to be careful that you don't let the opportunity or the efforts to go after the bad people hinder the freedoms that we have in the United States of America. This has already happened. It's happened with the Patriot Act. There's some different things that they did that have intruded on our rights as American citizens. The right to, they don't have the right, but they're doing it. They're spying on us. They're doing different things. And they're all doing that in the quote unquote Homeland Security to be able to stop the bad guys. I'm going to tell you, I get it. I love it when they catch them, but they've also violated the rights of a lot of innocent Americans who have been broken into in the middle of the night. The family put on the ground with guns at the back of their head, terrorizing the kids. In some cases, drug them off to a jail, interrogated them because there was something that they didn't like, or it popped up, and they just come in on them roughshod. Look at what's happened to all the political attacks that's been going on. Some of this stuff. I mean, it is a concern. I know I'm branching off pretty hard here, but that's where we're at in America, and that freedom is under attack. It's under attack every day. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I'm going to protect my freedom.
Okay. Let me put a counterpoint out here for you. And you know me, I'm a pretty conservative guy. I don't go into a lot of things. Do you think that your rights and privileges of freedom, when it comes to something like drinking, if you're going to get behind the wheel of the car and take your and everybody else on the road's life into your hands when you've been drinking, do you think that's okay?
I don't think it's okay to do them things. I don't think it's okay to violate my rights to try to stop that. I can't be any clearer about that, because it won't just, you're talking about people drinking. Dude, most of the people on the day is not, the problem is not drunk driving, although that's still bad. It's everything else they're on. It's all the pills. It's all the stuff that they've threw down, all that. And so again, where does it stop? Where does it stop? I want my freedoms protected. We have to find another way. I'm not okay with that, because you know why I'm not okay with it? Because it's not safe in the hands of a government that has shown that they're not to be trusted. They've shown not to be trusted. And we're fixing to lose a lot of rights. It's already being infringed. Our rights are being taken and infringed every day. And they're doing that through a lot of different means. We got to really pay attention. I'm telling you, there is massive stuff that's fixing to happen depending on what happens this election. Massive. And if this is what I'm talking about, kids played on what's fixing to happen. I'll say it. We're going to be talking about that leading up to the election, folks. We're gonna. It may not be on Front Porch. This is not usually what we go down the road on, but that's okay. We talk about Front Porch, whatever. But we're going to have some programming coming up. We're going to talk about some of these issues as we look at our rights, whether it's gun rights or freedom of speech or whatever. It's all fully under attack, and I mean in huge ways. And there's been some precedent set out there already on some of that in some areas that could be used to attack the whole nation, their rights out of one state or two. But it's man, that slope, it's not a little one, it's a big one, man. And that's my opinion. That's from David.
Okay. Now I knew I'd get you fired up on that. I knew it. And I wanted to get you back up there ever since this show started back up. And we had you up there earlier. I knew where that was going to put you. And I completely agree with you on what you're saying. Okay. I just want to play counterpoint there for a second.
I'm all good with it. I love debate teams.
I think the better solution on that topic, after you get caught drunk driving, if you get caught drunk driving, like over a certain limit. Now, I'm not talking about these borderlines, but if you're got caught over a certain limit and it's legally proven, yank their driver's license. Make them earn it back. First offense, yank them.
We need to tighten up.
It, but it needs to be done after they've been convicted of it and it's been proven in court.
Yes.
That's when their consequences needs to come down.
These multiple violators that have been arrested 20, 25 times. Come on.
Why are they
don't have there's whether they do or whether they don't. I mean, they should have been in jail for a good long time. I mean, you just can't have that.
You can't have it. I mean, if it's a habitual violator, is 5, 6, 7 times, throw them in jail because they have no regard for theirs or anybody else's life.
Oh, there's some jail coming for some people, but I think we might be shocked of who's going to jail.
Yeah, I think we are too.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
Right now, they're looking at every way.
God bless the USA. I'm a patriotic American, but I'm telling you, I'm concerned right now with what's going on. I'm just a little peon.
Absolutely.
But I am a citizen, and I do have a right to say the things I'm saying. And I appreciate those that are listening. I appreciate those that chime in and send, whatever, whether you agree with me or not. What's the old saying? I may not agree with you, but I'll die defending your right to say it, and I'll stand on that. There's a lot of cost been took to preserve freedom. There's a lot of issues. There really is a lot of issues, and some of them I have to thoroughly think about it because they can craft that the way they want to present that in such a way that you feel like, well, okay, they kind of talk you into it, but you have to really check yourself and say, wait a minute, if we do this, what does that mean for the next thing? Now the precedent is set and it makes it easy because that's really what the game is. We can't get all of it at one time. We get a little bit at a time, at a time. And I think that's the scary part for me, And
it is very scary.
We need to pray. We need to be active. We need to be challenging our politicians. We need to, really pay attention to what they're passing, what they're thinking about passing. Georgia is, and I love the state of Georgia. I've lived here all my life. I love this state. But honestly, Georgia is one of the states that's become a problem. It's teetering, man. There's so many things that are going on. It's a great state. It's a state that has money and progress and people and business and all that stuff. But there are those in our own state who talk crazy stuff, and they're just about to the point they're going to be able to start to do a lot of it, Robert. And it's concerning to me. It's
Yeah.
concerning to me.
And it should be to everybody.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Michael. And I'm not one of those that's talking about doing none of that. But everything I talk about is legal means. Legal means
Yeah.
being an active citizen. When I say challenging politicians, I mean you go to their where they're speaking at, send them letters, phone calls, fax them, whatever, and get 200 other people to do it as well that believe the same way you do, and put pressure on them and challenge them on that. And then if they don't live up to the conservative values, vote them out. Vote them out. So that's the power we have is the power of the vote and the power of our speech. And both of those are under attack. So we've really got to fight for those things. I'll say that. So great points tonight, man. This has really been a great show. I've really enjoyed the conversation.
One other thing also that we need to look at too. Watch where you get your news from. That is a big thing. Go for news. Go for news. This opinion, this whole thing where news is now based on somebody's opinion of it, that is complete and total garbage and hogwash. Get straight news, make your own opinion. And I'm not going to pick on any one network out there. I'm not, because they're all fall into the same category on this. They don't give news; they give opinion.
Go find the truth for yourself.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the greatest things about the internet is this, Rob. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but one of the greatest things about the internet is this: they don't hide nothing. They put everything out there, every plan they got, and just look for their speeches, pull them up, and or videos, and they're telling you exactly what they're planning to do. Whether you like Alex Jones or not. I mean, there's times that I'm thinking, come on, Alex, there's times though he is spot on, but he will tell you this. Alex Jones says, I don't sit around and come up with this stuff. I just listen to them and repeat it. And there's a lot of truth in that. Now he's made some mistakes, and he has. But he's been ahead of the curve. He's not this guy that just all of a sudden got this bright idea and genius. Oh, he's pretty quick. He knows how to get it out there and really hammer it. But what he did is he just read their stuff. His last book, I bought it and read it, The Great Reset, I think it was called, or something like that. And in there, all he did was go and talk about this speech and this thing. And you're reading what those people have said. And I went and looked them up. I cross-checked it and everything. He gives all the things there. And that's all he did. He just went and he took these people that are globalist, and they just said it straight out. They don't even care anymore. They just bring it, So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, to all you people out there on X, we really appreciate y'all turning in with us tonight.
Absolutely. You people rock. Yes. Love it. Thankful for the platform. Thankful for all the follows that we have on there. I am following a lot of people, and I've been talking to patriots and people from all different backgrounds. And it makes you feel good to see all the folks that love the United States of America, love freedom, and are standing up for that. And it's all across the globe, but it's all across the United States. But we got a lot of them around the South too, and they're saying the same things. They're concerned, and be engaged in all this. It's everybody kind of feels it, right? It's like you just feel it. You just feel like because of what you're hearing and seeing, but it's also in here. It's in your gut. You feel that like there's something bad fixing to happen, and you hope you're wrong. You really hope you're wrong. But you just, it's like it gets worse every day. It's like the things just multiply. We're just touching the surface. We're scratching. There's so many topics, and you get into this thing, and you're like, God, I can't believe all this is going on.
Yeah, it's when they talk about it getting worse exponentially, every time you turn around, it's gotten worse, and nothing's getting better. Nobody's trying to fix the issues. We're just getting it worse and worse and worse. And we're just being led down to the creek, whether we want to drink or not.
It's the Jim Jones effect. Lead them all to the place and make, as they say, drink the Kool-Aid. And if you don't want to drink it, they got the gun there. They had all the guns there. They took up, and they didn't have no weapons. They held the guns. They had the power over a lot of people because they had the guns. And when it all went down, they made them all kill themselves. If they wasn't going to do it, they killed them for themselves. I mean, that is. There's been others like that, but that's one of the greatest examples. What was that? 79 that happened in my lifetime. I can still remember the cover of Time magazine and that horrible scene of all them women and children laying there dead from the poison. And all these people, just how they went to a place off of a lunatic. And it seems like that's the way America is just being led. It's just going down that way to these lunatics that are, trying to, feed us, give us the Kool-Aid. And we're like, we're not drinking that. But they're making threats. And that's kind of where I feel like we're at. It's like, oh, you'll drink it or else, and that's what they want to say. But there's enough of us still right now that say, hold on now, I got some rights here. This is still America. And we're standing on what we got, the Constitution, the bedrock document of this land. We got to stay on that. We can't let these people change that document. That's what they want to do. They're already wanting to jack the court around, the Supreme Court. No, you can't let them do that. This has to stop. And, if they had control and full power and had it the way they wanted, they wouldn't say nothing about the court. They're just mad because they can't do what they want. But what they have done is a lot. And I just think, I used to say most Americans. I still hope it's a majority. Excuse me. But I see so many lunatics out there. They've literally drank the Kool-Aid already. They're brainwashed. I mean, it's like, how could you stand up as a human being in a country and agree that what these people are trying to shove down our throats is a good thing? It does. It's like, do you not see this? Do you not hear it? And then they want to call you the bad guy. You're the problem. I mean, something happened,
Well, and there's a disconnect between, like, say, us and this younger generation that's coming up. There's this huge disconnect. And I believe a lot of it happened in our school systems. They've been taught to obey. They've been taught to do what you're told. They've been taught, okay, don't have an opinion. Don't think. Do what we tell you. Think what we tell you. We're right. Everybody else is wrong, but we're right, and you listen to us. And that little poison cup that they're drinking out of is the death of freedom.
Yeah. I just have this image in my brain, and I just over the top. I just it's like a little meme or something. And I just think Washington D.C. the capital, and it's the fall of America, and it's like we're on fire, man. It's like a 9/11 thing, and we're just on fire, and buildings are collapsing, and America it's in danger. I mean, people think you're crazy. I talk to some people about this, and they go, "Oh, come on, man. Everybody's been talking about this ever since I've been alive." But they just can't see what is out there. It's nothing on the scale like we've seen, like it is right now, ever before.
When we were kids, do you think they would have ever torn down statues like they did?
Oh no, it wouldn't have been allowed. That wouldn't have happened. I think the only time, a time that America was really in fear of before was probably the nuclear age, and they were building the nuclear bunkers and all that stuff. I mean, they were practicing nuclear drills in the schools. People were afraid. Another one was the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was really a scary time. My mom just was on pins and needles the whole time. There's been other times, and there were those same kind of people around, but there was enough great citizens that stood up and stopped things. But right now, are we going to stand up to anybody? I mean,
no.
If the Cuban Missile Crisis was today, are we doing anything? I don't know, man. I mean, who's in control? Who's calling the shots? Who's going to make it happen? I just think these are concerns I have. And notice, I'm not saying what you are or what party you are or whatever. I'm just talking about American citizens. American citizens have got to quit listening to lunatics that are, and I know they put them in there, but they got to quit listening to people and say, no, that's enough. Stop.
Yeah.
We're not on it anymore. There was a lady at, you have to look this up, Rob. She was at, and again, whether you like these people or not, I'm not promoting them. I'm not being political. But there was a lady, I think it was yesterday, or it might have been today, I saw the video, who came up at a Kerry Lake little rally or press conference or whatever it was. Just go look that up. And what she had to say was very powerful. And That's what I'm talking about. We just got to come together. I was doing security one day in front of a box store, and there was a person that pulled up in front, and I pulled up because he really wasn't supposed to be parked there, and he said he'd move. He'd been an educator all of his life, and he raised all of his family. They were college graduates, and he said, I'm seeing all the grandkids through. They had the faith part. He talked about all that. But one of the things he said that struck me, this is a great American, it's a great citizen. One of the things that struck me about what he said was, he looked at me. He's a person of color. Doesn't matter what color, but he was, I'm a color. He's a color, but we're different color. He looked at me and he said, they want me and you to hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yes, sir, you're right. But I said, I love all men. And he said, that's right. He said, you are not my enemy. He said, we must stand together and not let that happen. He was very concerned. He's an elderly gentleman. I bet he was 78 or 80 years old. This guy, sharp, was a solid citizen that impacted so many people's lives through the gift of education. And he was absolutely correct. And we told each other that we loved each other before we departed and wished each other the best. But he said, young man, he called me a young man. Man, it made me feel so good, because they like to call me elderly. He said, young man, he said, you have a blessed day. And I'm going to tell you, man, touch my heart. Wherever you're at, sir, you touch this old preacher's heart. I love you, man. You know what? I want to see that. That's how you take care of these politicians. You just say, turn them off. You come together and say, that's it. No more. We're voting you out. But we got to see it happen. Talking's one thing. We got to see, people got to do that. They got to quit being divided in this nation. Got to quit. But we got so many people that have been brainwashed, man. They hate us and they don't even know us.
Yeah. There ain't no point. I didn't even realize that I was a racist till they told me I was one.
Yeah.
I love everybody.
That's what the church, love all people. And some people, they say they're in church, but they have hate. I don't have hate for anybody.
No.
I'm supposed to pray for my enemies and all that. And, I can do that through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. I'm a person of faith. I love America. I'm deeply honored that the world is a fascinating place. There's a lot of places around the world that I think are interested. Would love to visit, but keep my feet on American soil. I don't know why the Lord blessed me to be born here in America, but every day I think about that and what this land means to me and what this opportunity that we have here means to me in these United States. And other countries are telling Americans, you got to stop. You're the last hope. It's fallen all over the world. You've got to make a stand. Those messages are coming from all over the world, and they're already they've lost control all around the world. And what some of you may have heard Trevor London, and he's one of them that travels the United States, and that's his message. Is you're the last hope. You're the last stand. You got to make the stand. We have to stand up against this, and we got to do that not only through the ballot box. We got to get on our knees and go to our great mediator, Jesus Christ. He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords. We got to do that, and we got to reach out to people and engage people, and not scream at each other. We got to engage people and just talk honesty and truth in love. Speak truth to love. Was that's a phrase you hear? But I know it's hard sometimes. You get people and they just want to holler at you and scream. You notice the people that are really crazy, they do that. They holler and scream, and you say, I can't even talk to them. But we can show acts of love and compassion, but we're going to make our stand. We're going to stand up. I stand up. I'll say, this is what I believe. I don't hide behind that. We started this podcast. We really did. And we've not said one thing about any candidate in this discussion tonight. No. And that's, we're not trying to hide. We're conservative. We're Christian conservatives. We're not hiding anything. We just really tried to have a program that's fun and informative, and we do a lot and faithful, and we do a lot of different kinds of things, but we know we got to speak out some, and we're not hiding that. And I'll stand on that. I will stand on my core beliefs. I don't hide those from anybody. I preach those things from the Word of God every time that we have a church service, and I will not hide. I love this country. I'm a citizen of two places. I'm a citizen of heaven, and I'm a citizen of these United States, and I cherish both. Amen. That's my sermon for tonight. I won't say no more. I'm not trying to be preachy, but that's what I have in my heart tonight. And hey, thank you.
Something's
going on. We've had our views have been going up.
Yeah. Let me lay,
either
let me lay a
either
little
they
bit
agree
on you.
or they're throwing tomatoes at us.
Let me lay a little bit more on you here. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sick of hearing about African Americans, Mexican Americans, Chinese Americans, uh, Italian Americans, Irish American. I'm sick of it. Why can't we just be Americans?
We're
Why do
Americans.
we even have to bring color into it? Well, so and so was arrested today, was an African American. Who cares what their race was? It doesn't matter.
That's
They're a
right.
citizen of this country. We all have the same rights. Come on, quit it. Just say it
Yeah.
was a citizen. It was an American.
You remember that movie, Rob?
Hmm.
What was it? Volcano. Uh, Supposed to be like L.A. or something, and the lava's coming, and they're trying
Oh
to
yeah,
stop. Who was that actor? Famous actor.
Tommy Lee
Oh,
Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. I had the Tommy right. I couldn't think of the rest. And there's that guy. He's had this life of anger. He's a big guy, you know. He's angry. He don't want to help. All he's doing is, you know, putting them down and mocking them, and he's mad. And you just see this scene building. I thought it was a great scene, and they really did a good job with that. And at the end, they all work together. That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. The disaster's coming. The lava flow is coming. And
Okay.
hey, look, we're trying to save everybody's house. We're trying to save everybody's street. We're trying to save everybody's rights. We're trying to save everybody's church. We're trying to save everybody's ability to, you know, hold a gun or whatever. And we got to work together. And that's a great scene. I know it's a movie, but it's a great scene.
But but it seemed like we were getting to that point at one point. It seemed like, nobody cared. I know back in the day when you and I worked together, we didn't care about color or race. I still don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. Martin Luther King said it the best: by the character of his heart.
I know that we're not ignoring all the problems, because there has been, but I will say this: it was one of the greatest things. It broke my heart, but it also filled my heart with a lot of love. And I worked with this gentleman. He's with the Lord now, and we worked together right there. It reminded me of when you said that. And I don't know if I ever told you this, Rob. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But one day I was in church, and I was in Sunday school, and as far as preaching, I was in Sunday school, and my pastor was actually teaching the Sunday school class. And I noticed he was kind of distracted a few times. And we didn't have stained glass windows; we just had windows, and you could see outside. And I noticed he got distracted a few times. He's looking out, and I thought maybe somebody pulled in the parking lot, and he was worried they might do something to somebody's car or something, because we're kind of out, in the sticks, as they say. And well, at the end of towards the end of the Sunday school, I heard the door open. I didn't look around; I'm just paying attention. Door shuts. You kind of felt like something just happened, though. I could sort of feel like the mood, everything changed. And my pastor, his face lit up. He was almost in tears. And so he gets the end of Sunday school, and he's just about to bawl. And he says, "Hey, we're gonna close Sunday school." But he looks back. He's kind of looking over my head, and he says, "Sir, I just want you to know, you are so welcome here. Thank you for coming today." And this is the guy, when he spoke, I knew exactly who it was, the guy I worked with. And he said, "Well, thank you." He said, I didn't know if I could come in or not. Now this is, he said, back when I was a kid, and folks, I get it. It's ugly. It's sad, but it's in history. History's history. We just got to, learn from it.
Sugarcoat it.
But he said back in my day, we went to church on our side of town. We weren't allowed in churches on this side of town. He said, I walked towards the church, and my pastor confirmed this. He said, I walked toward the church. I think it was 5 or 6 times, and turned around and went back. He was scared to come in. And he said, I'm going to tell him myself here a little bit, but he said, because for a while, I hadn't been serving the Lord. I wasn't. And, it was a little crazy, Rob. I don't know if you was there at this time. I don't remember, but I had, got my life in order, but me and a family were in church and serving the Lord. And he saw everything change about me. And he said, I got to be honest. He said, I come here to check out that man talking about me. And I didn't say a word. I just listened. I just want to see where this went. And he said, he said, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. He said, I didn't believe he had made a change. He said, because that man has tormented. You know how we picked at people, Rob, back in the day
Oh,
at
yeah.
the company?
Oh,
Everybody. It didn't matter who they were. He said,
Oh.
that man had been a thorn in my side for 5 years, because we that little department we had a ball. We had a lot of fun. And so he was saying that. And anyway, he said this. He said, but after watching, I didn't even said nothing. He said, after watching him in the church, he said, I gotta say, he said, I believe every word of it now. He said, he's a changed man. He goes, I feel so much better. And he said, I really was scared. And we all come up and hugged him and said, you know what? You're welcome in this church anytime. This is God's house. Anybody's welcome through the door. But that story, and he's with the Lord now, and he didn't come back, but he had his own church to go to. He knew he was welcome. It was one of the greatest things that I've ever been a part of. And who knew that my craziness, Rob, and I'm still crazy. Don't mistake. You saw some of that tonight, but rededicating my life unto the Lord. I'd been saved at a young age, but rededicating my life to the Lord. He said, it makes me so happy. He said, I want him to be changed. He said, are you still going to pick at me? I said, well, in a Christian way.
Well, it's like me and you. Me and you have been friends for what, 30 some odd years?
Oh, yeah.
If we wasn't giving each other a hard time, we'd think the other one was mad at us.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt.
And
there's no doubt.
That was before you became a preacher. So we've got some water under the bridge. If you don't tell me straight up, nobody can.
And listen, I'm not saying you have to be what I am to be a solid citizen of these. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I am a person of faith, and I believe that's the foundation of our country is faith. It's one of the major foundations. If you want to talk about pillars of the country, it's a major pillar. It absolutely is. Yes. But there are great citizens come in all different designs, and they love this land, and they make it better every day by their actions in community, and whether it's in their church or through their workplace or their giving or just being great neighbors, all those things. And I'm speaking to all of those tonight. Thank you for being that. We just got to stand together. We got to quit letting people divide us along the way. And hey, we're all different. We ain't all of us going to agree on everything. Tell me any group that believes on everything. We're going to disagree on something. Me and Robert disagreed a little bit tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Robert wants the monkey farm to come to his city or the city down from him, and I don't. he really doesn't.
He didn't believe me about the monkey farm. Those
I did
a little bit later. He thought
I was a joke. I was going to give you credit. It's one of the greatest, scams you ever came up with. Or I thought, man, that's pretty good. A monkey farm, but I'm not buying it. I was sitting here thinking that. I thought, I bet some of these other people are believing you. I'm not believing you. And then you pull the article up, and I'm like, I can't believe that.
It was a scam within a scam. Yeah, you like that?
Well, yeah, you laid that out real well because you knew exactly I'd be hooked in. That. I love that. Though. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. The monkey farm.
That is a thing.
I want to see the movie, man. I want to see the movie when it comes out.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a movie. But I'm telling you, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are going to have to come save us from the monkeys. No,
hey, I'm all for it.
Oh, wait, she's gone now. I was going to say Betty White.
Betty White, yeah, she's gone.
Lake Placid.
Yeah,
she's gone now. So
yeah, we'll have to choose somebody else. She'll be the female, hero in it too. So we'll have to have that.
Oh yeah. But hey guys, we are so glad all of y'all joined with us tonight.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
It's been amazing. We've enjoyed all the good watch times and stuff like that. We really enjoy it. And we hope we were blessed in your life as well.
Without a doubt. We love you. Appreciate you.
We do this because we want to reach out and touch people. We're here. We're not here to make money. In fact, I told Dave when we started up, we're probably going to end up getting canceled. And both of us were like, okay.
We're trying real hard to hold our tongues, but, appreciate the platforms that we're on. that we can
Absolutely.
do that. So there's a lot of great patriots out there. There's a lot of great Americans stand in solidarity. We got this. It's concerning the things that are going on, but I try to be a half glass full kind of guy, but I also keep my eye on the enemy and press on, brother. Press on, Patriots.
Yeah,
And
everybody.
we love America, love our country, love our state, love our county, city. That little dirt road, Rob. I bet you love that little dirt road. Except when it's raining down there and you get kind of stuck in the mud.
But it's all right because I would rather live on this dirt road than just about anywhere else. But look here, guys, we would appreciate any likes, follows, subscriptions. We're on a multitude of platforms.
Yes.
Y'all give us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever, and we would appreciate it. Lets us know where we're at because we want to know if we're making an impact. That's the thing.
Thank you, Earl. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Daniel, for popping in the chat. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, who had to get out a little early, and Marjorie, all the ones that stopped in.
Yeah.
And if anybody would ever like to come up, we're look at our schedule. We're on 3 mornings through the week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. to 7ish, and then we have the Wednesday night Hump Day news, and then Friday night the Front Porch Talking. And there's a couple other things we do live too.
Monday night.
Sometimes we do. So we're on a lot. We're doing a lot of programming, and we appreciate all the follows.
Yes, and we want to hear from you guys. So, give us a like, follow, subscribe, and hit us up. We also have a Cornbread Nation group page now on Facebook as well.
Yeah,
if you want to join it and pop in comments there, more than welcome.
Yeah. We're going to let's run a couple of ads, Rob, and then we'll just go into our outro, tell everybody good night. Let's run a couple of ads as we go out and give them some of those programs and stuff. And we'll be back on with you real soon. Sunday morning, I'll be on live with the Sunday Morning in the Word.
Okay. Love you guys. God bless you.
Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. One of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch. Wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast.